Hey everyone, I hope you are all well. This is the first video which I'm going to be doing, and I've committed to doing every single week. So this is very much week one, and what I want to talk about is tinnitus and my tinnitus journey. In actual fact, it's not really week one because I didn't get tinnitus a week ago. I actually got tinnitus on the 13th of March. And I know that exact date because probably like you can pinpoint the moment you actually woke up and you were like, what the fuck is this noise? So mine was 13th of March, woke up and yeah, hence the noise. And I mean, to fill you in on the 5 months prior, it would be a bit too much in this video, so I'll save it for another video. But effectively, I have committed now to putting a video out there to hold myself to account and share on a subject which very little is shared about. I'm going to share the things I have learned, the things I have picked up, which may offer some use to anyone out there going through this, right? So that's what I've committed to do. So yeah, this is week one. I'm gonna be uploading every Friday my progress and status and check-in and reflections and what I've uncovered in that week, and give you an update and share with you what I think has worked and what may not have worked and what has challenged me as well. So the theme for this week is around prioritizing your mind as well as prioritizing science and data. And the reason I'm keen to draw out these two things is because they both go hand in hand. There's a school of thought which says your mind and your body are fully interlinked, and I would say that sort of makes a lot of sense. Having a strong emotional charge or a strong perception about something can impact the body and how the body reacts. And the body, from what I'm guided by, is the body gives you feedback to what's going on, maybe up there. In fact, definitely up there. So I spent a lot of time working with a lady called Manmeet Kaur Chowdhury, who basically takes you through a process, a series of questions, founded by someone called Dr. John Demartini, and I'll put the tags at the bottom so you can see and go and explore. And I would say I chose to start off with tackling the psychological aspect of tinnitus and illness and health first, then now looking at the scientific part around data and science. And I think it was important to do that, and I'll explain why. Probably like lots of people who are potentially watching this, when you get tinnitus, you start to go into an absolute spiral of what is going on. There's just no answers. The worst thing, not the worst thing, but something I did, go online and start Googling what is this noise, and all of a sudden stuff throws up. You get all these forums and groups, people sharing horror stories and telling you that it's for life and you're going to ruin your whole life, and you're going to be in depression every time and you feel like you want to kill yourself all the time. And yes, I've been there, I've done that. Not so long ago, man, I was like there, I was really there. For context, right? I'm 37, got 2 young kids, a wife, a home. In theory, nothing to really argue about really, but when something is compromised in your body, you cannot help but think, especially when there's no obvious cause and there's no obvious solution, and you perceive it to sort of run your life and infiltrate your whole being, because all you can hear is the noise going on when you're trying to have a conversation. You sort of lose your thoughts. You're just like, what the fuck? Like, you just want to push control delete on your life. You just think, I want to check out. Like, I can't be here. Like, the only way this noise isn't going to stop if I'm not here, right? And I want to tell you, but please listen. I want to tell you that's not the case. And that doesn't have to be the case for you, right? I'm not here saying I have solved it and I've got all the answers and I'm a revolutionary and I'm a changed person, because I'm not. But what I can say to you is, if you are having thoughts where you want to self-delete, you're really in the dumps and you're down and it's just you cannot see a way out other than, signing off, checking out, then there is better days coming. I can guarantee you that. People told me this and I did not believe them. I was like, who are you, self-righteous, talking to me? Like, how do you know, right? And here I am now saying the same message. It doesn't, like, even I can't really comprehend that. But anyway, I'll create another video about this, I think, because it's important to do that, especially with the individuals that I've already named so far, which I've tagged below, because there's a perception shift needed. And I'm still doing it. I'm not there. I'm still doing it, but I think I've made some good progress, and I've still got a lot more progress to go. But initially, when you're presented with this tinnitus in your space, I would say it's very important to understand how you perceive it now and how else you can choose to perceive it if you ask yourself the right kinds of questions. And I won't sort of share with what I've got now, but I'll do it in a separate video. Anyway, coming back to the purpose of this topic, week 1. I have, as I said, I've been working with a lady called Manmeet and another lady called Wei, who Manmeet has introduced me to. She is a lady who lives not too far from my house in Harrow, and I'll tag her here as well, actually. And so if I say Manmeet has really helped me with my perceptions towards tinnitus and decharging the emotions that I feel towards it and allowing for me to see the benefits it has brought to my life and how I've not missed out on anything and I've not lost anything. And in fact, what I have now is the same as what I had all of my life. So therefore, there is no actual difference. Yes, there's a physical sensation which is different, which I've never had before, but that's about it. All of the emotions are exactly the same as I've had all my whole life. So soon as I start to resonate with that point, and caveat, I'm not 100% there yet, I'm still working, but the charge comes down towards the tinnitus, the emotion comes down, and therefore allows me to then move into the next phase around, right, let's start to explore some of the tactics, the supplements, the lifestyle changes, the medications I can do. Because if I start to stack up all that and not deal with the emotional charge, I get even more charge, because now I feel like I'm changing my whole lifestyle, changing my whole diet whilst not having dealt with the tinnitus, if that makes sense. So coming back to the second lady I started working with, her name is Wei. And she comes from a school of thought around Chinese medicine, holistic therapy, around applying heat, and heat. And it's funny because every time I say that, well, I have to say it 3 times, just like how she says it. Effectively, her philosophy is the body will heal itself. You just have to encourage it to heal itself. Now, it's not a silver bullet. It's not going to work overnight. And the jury is still out for me in terms of, has that philosophy worked? But in terms of, has it turned off the sound in my head, which I can hear in my ears, right? Because it's still there. I would say there has been significant changes in the intensity and the duration of the sound. And really what has helped me is, having ginger, organic ginger powder in hot water to apply heat from inside the body has really helped. And heat from outside the body, so like heat patches, electric blankets, all that kind of stuff, just to, it's like a fire, like a campfire. If my fire was poured out months ago because of, I'll go into another video, but like antibiotics, not sleeping, stressing, etc., call that campfire. Say if my blazing fire at one point is now I poured a glass of water all over it and turned it out. It's like, how do I expect to thrive again if there's no fire? So effectively, I think what she's trying to guide me with is create the fire back in the body, heat the body from outside and inside, because heat is the source of life, like the sun, right? If it wasn't for the sun, we would be dead. In fact, the sun is the whole reason why this whole planet exists. So cultivating the sense of sun within the body. And there's many different tangents I can try to go off of here in terms of spirituality, religion, etc. But I'll stick to the topic as much as I can. So Wei has really helped me with understanding, heal from within rather than from without. And that's an important point for me to still learn and still reflect on and understand. Because previously when I got tinnitus and a few other bits, my instinct was go outside for the solution, like ENT, audiologist, doctor, brain surgeon, neurology, all sorts of consultants I was arranging appointments for, calling, chasing, get really pissed off if they cancel, get pissed off if it's a 2-week wait. I would feel like no one's listening to me. Who's going to help me first, right? And what Wei and Man-Mi have helped me do is to like shut that off and come back inside myself and look at things more objectively rather than irrationally and like off the hoof. So heat has been a big factor in this journey. And diet. So she advocates a keto lifestyle, and I'm a vegetarian. So when someone says keto to me, I'm like, I don't eat meat. What the hell's left? So I have really been encouraged to embrace keto and really, again, I don't think I could have embraced keto if I was still emotionally charged about my symptoms, because I would be even more charged. It would throw me off the edge. But what's allowed me to actually allow myself to pursue a whole lifestyle change was calming my emotional charge down a little bit. So I wouldn't say I'm fully keto. I would say I eat 2 meals in the day, and one small portion of my second meal has a carb source in it. That's what I'd say. Oh wait, the door's open. So yeah, I mean, I definitely plan to convert fully to keto. And the last thing that she advocates is fasting. And the reason I'm saying this is because the next person I mention says the same thing also, and I'm starting to see a pattern emerging in the world of holistic tinnitus solutions. So let me just talk about fasting. So there's a concept, and again, I won't go into so much detail here, but there seems to be, from the research I've done, an overriding thought that fasting can generate wellness in the body. And I won't go into the science. I've read a few books. A good book to read if you're interested is The Phoenix Protocol. It's basically a 7-day dry fast, which is quite extreme, but something I want to work up towards slowly getting to. Right, the third person I met was a guy called Liam. I'll tag him at the bottom there. Liam Stops Tinnitus, right? I actually got invited to do a Instagram live with him. I asked a question and he called me on. We started talking. And I don't know about you, when you get tinnitus, you start to Google, how do you stop tinnitus? And the first person that came up online was a guy called Liam. And I looked at his profile and I was like, something in me was just like, this is a hoax. Like, it's a money-making scam. Like, this is all the testimonials are fake. He must have paid someone. He doesn't really know. He's very not convincing. It's very jokey. And I was like, this is not a jokey subject, so why would I follow you? So it actually triggered me following him. I was like, every time I listen to him, I feel like I want to listen to him, but I pull back because I'm like, I don't want to get sucked into another trap here. It messes with my head. So I didn't listen to it for a long time, and I decided to go down a few holistic paths. But I caught on to what he was saying. He was saying keto, don't drink tap water, blue light blockers, fasting, grounding, parasite cleanse, detoxification, removing toxic people out your sphere of awareness. But I would say I could challenge that by actually doing the work, the psychological work, so you no longer see them as toxic, so you don't have to remove them. But anyway, that's another topic. And a few other bits. And it sunk in me, just in his first few videos, I was like, this is what he's saying gets rid of tinnitus. Ridiculous, first of all, and that's going to take too long. I don't want that. So I went to trusted people who, like Man-Mi and this lady Wei, and it's so interesting how, as well as Ayurvedic doctors, and it's so interesting how I thought I was listening to someone else and they'll give me the real answer, and the essence of what they were saying was exactly what Liam was saying, which made me think, geez, let me take a second look at this guy and let me really go in with open eyes. And let me absorb that information without feeling scared to do it and judging myself, because I realized I would stop myself from getting a solution by judging myself. I don't know if you guys feel that, where you almost label yourself as, oh, I'm obsessed with this. Like, you talk to yourself, you're like, I'm so obsessed with this. Like, but no, right? Again, this is what Man Meat sort of work helped me with. It's like, if you remove the label of I'm obsessed with solving tinnitus, you can reframe that to I prioritize my health and my lifestyle and my longevity in this world. I prioritize my role as a husband, a child, a father, a worker, etc., etc. Then you almost give yourself the license to go and listen to his videos, to go and learn with open eyes and open ears and without the judgment, because it's one less shit thing you need to be able to move this out of your space. So I would say that's an important turn. Anyway, I listened to Liam. I started asking him some questions. Once I started to draw the threads of what's going on, I started to understand a little bit more. I got into a live with him, and this is where it changed. But he started asking me. He was actually interested to know, my history, what happened, what led to me potentially getting it. And I personally think it's a combination with me. I'll never know, right? I will never categorically know what caused tinnitus. I have sort of, well, I was going to say, yeah. I'm moving towards accepting that as a reality. There's a part of me which is like, I want to know the answer. And I'm not judging that. Now I am reframing that as I get to learn what caused it. All of my research will help me learn what potentially would have caused it. And for me, I'm just giving myself license to learn and find out now. But for the record, I think it might be 7 weeks of antibiotics, 12 weeks of amitriptyline, and how many weeks of sleep medication later, and COVID/D with a 2 years worth of a pandemic. But you know which one I'm talking about. So yeah, I met Liam. I bought his course. If you are on the fence about whether should I buy his course, should I not buy his course, and if you got tinnitus, man, first of all, it's your call. I'm not here to advise you. I'm just here to share what I'm learning and what I've picked up, which is why I commit to do this every week, to openly, wholeheartedly share my challenges and my wins and everything in between, right? Because I have also come to this realization of it was always a priority for me to share my thoughts and my insights, right? One for myself, because as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. But one for, if it wasn't for other people who laid the breadcrumbs, then I wouldn't have anything to follow, right? Like Liam, like Wei, like Man Meat. So it makes sense that I get to lay a trail of breadcrumbs myself for whoever may want to follow, whatever value it brings to them. Fantastic. If not, then that's okay too. So what was I saying? Liam. Yeah, I would say if you're in two minds, my recommendation would be to go and buy his course, because if you trust him, I would say the first video he talks about is really interesting. It's like everything you've learned up until you've met him, forget about it. Like literally start from scratch. Like whatever you think you may have learned about it, forget it. Because this guy, he's had tinnitus, right? He's had so many people through it, but he's also challenged so many people through it. I'm not saying he's an angel, and I'm not saying he's the devil. He's both together, because I know how he made me feel when I watched his videos to start with. I was like resentment of him. And now I know I'm sort of infatuated with him. And I'm now trying to see him as both, because there's no point me getting so infatuated, because like I'm just going to suck myself into another trap. So he's giving me some help, but he's challenging me, because the help he's providing me is causing me coming at a cost. And I know that, I'm aware of that, and I'll take that anyway. Anyway, park that. I would say it has been really helpful, really helpful. I'm on week 1 of his course. I've started implementing some changes, and I'll tell you what those are. So, the last week and a half, 2 weeks, right? I would say I have included the following changes. 1, stopped tap water and started bottled water, right? And again, I know there's plastics and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just trying it, right? Like I'm not perfect. I'm just trying. So that's the first change I've made. The second change I've made is supplementation. So I've started taking vitamin C, vitamin D, which has selenium inside. And selenium is a supplement he recommends to take about the thyroid. I'll come on to this in a second. Third vitamin I started taking is B12, oral B12 spray. Again, people say vitamin B12 is really good for general health, but if you got tinnitus, it can also play a part as well. All right. And then another supplement I've been taking is spirulina. This is not from Tinnitus's advice. This is not from Liam's advice. This is from a guy who wrote the book, The Phoenix Protocol. He has a page around immortality and how to achieve immortality in this world. It sounds a bit far-fetched, a bit crazy, but ultimately fasting can help you towards achieving that. But he said the biggest advice I would give for people who are not fasting but interested in what food to put in their body to maximize their health. And again, this will probably be person to person specific because no two people are the same. But he talks about a few different food items. And I suppose Liam may agree or disagree with it. He probably does both. But I've just decided whatever's I resonate with, I'm going to also include into my mix for this week. So those are the supplements I've been taking. And the things on top of that I've been doing is like, what's it called? Steam rooms. So they say to detoxify what's in the body, steam can be a real help to sort of help it come out the pores, etc. So I changed gyms about a month ago, which has a nice sauna, steam room in there. And I just like, I just go there whenever I feel like it. I don't go there every day. I don't kill myself to go there. I just feel like if I got time in the evening, I'll go half an hour. What's the harm, right? So do that. Muscle release I've started to do. So again, that same gym, I noticed they have those massage guns and they have the massage roller ball, which actually vibrates itself. So, I start to roll on it on my back and any tight area of my body, because again, tinnitus is something which is in the head. So it forces you to think, and all of your energies generally rise up and you end up living in this area of your body, which can then create a lot of stiffness down the rest of your body. So I believe muscle relief and muscle tension release is all about prompting different areas of your body, pushing and probing the muscle to contract, but then the contraction allows it to then relax. So it's like the yin and the yang, probably. It allows it to relax for then that chain effect to carry up the body and potentially start impacting the muscles in your jaw, your face, your head. The tension which builds can start to potentially be released. So again, I'm not prescriptive, like it's been a week, let's see if I continue it or not. I intend to, I've set my intentions to. But I just spend like 15-20 minutes just rolling on the ball, and starting from my feet up until my neck and my head, I just roll on it, and anywhere which pains, I just sit there in that position and lean into the ball and just really breathe. So I've brought that in. Keto, I'm 90% keto, so I'm not fully keto yet. I do intend to buy some urine test strips to test if I'm in ketosis or not, because they say being in ketosis can be a really supportive factor in removing any toxins or helping blood flow and any health matters into out of your space. And I've stopped sugar. I would say stopping sugar and processed food has been the most single biggest shift in terms of direct benefit I've seen, because it has really helped the clarity of my thoughts. Like I tend to find myself reflecting sort of negatively towards myself and other people, and my health, and it has really given me a lot of energy. In the beginning, you feel like it drains your energy because you just want a sugar fix, but ultimately, as soon as your body learns to not go to sugar for a boost, you somehow seem to get like a second, third, fourth, fifth wind of energy behind you. And so stopping sugar has been a key factor. And lastly, the last thing I've done this week, incorporate into my thing, is HIIT training, high intensity interval training. I've always been what I would consider a fit and healthy person who prioritizes their health. I've been on a big weight loss journey and self-improvement, self-mastery journey in my life. I've lost 50 kilos of weight, and you can probably see that from some of my posts prior. So I've started incorporating high intensity interval training. Again, this plays to the point Wei talks about, which is heat. Generate heat from within and from without. So that has been useful. And I would say to reflect on some key points in the week, and I'll end it as key points, right? There's about 5 or 6 points I want to go through before I close and make my final remark, I guess. Is like there has been there was one instance this week, which was on Wednesday, where I was at work and my ear just started started pulling, like in a sensation around here, back here, started pulling. It was like a muscle pull here. The same time my muscle was pulling here, my muscle was pulling here, like in tandem. And then all of a sudden, there was silence. And I was like, fuck, like where's the noise? Like it's gone. Like where is it? And I was looking for it, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to jinx it by looking for it. So let me just plead ignorance and carry on. And I was in a few meetings at work. And in the meetings, there was a few moments of silence where neither I or the other person was talking. And in those moments of silence, I was like secretly listening to think, fuck, is there noise? Is there noise? Does it come back? And it was still not there. And it must have lasted for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And I was like, fuck, like, is it gone? Is it going to come back? Am I just hearing things or not hearing things? And eventually a slight hissing came back, and then it turned into a bit more of a hissing, and it just turned into its usual noise. So it's not fully gone, but I had a moment of hope this week that I have witnessed it disappear from my ears. And I cannot tell you the thoughts that spiraled in my head when it was gone. I was like, wow, like all of a sudden it was like I could see what I would do in a world of silence. I could visualize what I would be doing if this was to continue. And funny enough, I've reframed this because I'm still going to continue with that, because I got the vision when the silence came. I got a vision of how I want my life to pan out with silence. It's like I got clarity around, this is my purpose, my mission, to serve, to help, to share. And that's exactly why I'm posting this video, because I will commit until the day I've moved tinnitus out of my space. Every single week I'll be posting on here to share with you my thoughts, my reflections, my interventions, what's worked, what's challenged me. And like a trail of breadcrumbs, if it can help you, then fantastic. If it can help me, then fantastic. If it can't help anyone, then fantastic. It's like, this is what I want to do. I want to commit everything in my energy, my space, to this. So I got some silence this week, and I know it's going to be there. I know it's coming. And I know it's coming for you too. So hang in. It's going to come. Just think, there's going to be a time in your life again where it is silent. And that silence will feel even better than the years of silence you had before. Like, even better. And if that is not a reason to hang in, stay there, then I don't know what it is, man. Like, yeah, truly believe it, because I believe it. And I want you to believe it. I genuinely want you to believe it. I want us to believe this. So silence is coming. Secondly, joy, finding joy. I mean, again, I'm working on this myself, right? But I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, how much of my day do I spend listening to the noise whilst I'm having a conversation? How much of my day do I just spend thinking about my situation and, is it gone? What do I need to do? Oh my God, I need to do this. And to an extent, right, unless you're going through this, no one will ever know this. So I don't expect other people to fully understand, because they will never understand. Only we know. Only you know. Only I know. Only we know. But all I will say is, we have a choice. Do we want to spend so much time thinking about listening to the noise, or do we want to just do something else with our time? Because I thought, I'm getting bored of this now. I'm getting bored of listening to the noise and thinking about the noise and thinking about what am I going to do? And, as much as it's necessary for me to think some of this stuff, and I want to, and I find value in it, I also find that disvalue in it. And actually, what else could I put my time towards, man? What else? I don't want to waste my time thinking about this kind of stuff all the time. So that was something I reflected on. What else do I find joy in thinking about? What else do I find joy in doing? My life doesn't have to stop because I got tinnitus. I can, I still have the right to feel any emotion I want whilst having tinnitus. Like I can, like it's my choice. That choice hasn't been taken away from me. I feel like it's been taken away from me, but I get to choose if I'm happy or sad or emotional or ecstatic or whatever. I choose this, you know? So the moment we give ourselves back the power, maybe we might see something. We might experience this whole thing differently. We might talk about it to others differently. We might talk about it to ourselves differently, right? So something to explore there around finding joy in something else other than tinnitus. We find joy in tinnitus also. It's crazy. Man, help me explore this idea. It's not all bad. Tinnitus is not bad. It's serving a purpose. It's actually serving a purpose. It's bringing you joy in a way which we just haven't realized, we haven't thought about. And for me, it's brought me joy in terms of what I can share here. It's given me a voice. It's not given me a voice. I already had a voice. It's helped me remember that I have a voice. It's helped me remember that I enjoy sharing. So I would say that's the key part. And lastly, let me touch on this point, because half an hour now. But lastly, it's given us a purpose, man. Like tinnitus has given us a new sense of purpose. It's just for us to figure out what is that purpose. Because it's now made its way up our priority ladder. Tinnitus has made its way up our system somehow. You know, our health is related to our physiological health. So whether you had physiological health in your mind before, or something you used to think about before, or something you used to spend your money on before, you know, I bet sure as hell you do now. So it's like, okay, I'm now aware of this. What benefit can this bring to me, right? Why now? Why have I been gifted this in my life now? Rather than why me, you know? And I'm not here saying I've made the full transition. I'm just sharing with what other people have shared with me, and the types of thoughts I'm encouraging myself to have, and the types of shifts that I'm encouraging myself to get into. Why me, and why is it so perfect now? So maybe you want to answer that comment in the comments below. I certainly know why me and why now. Why me is because I attracted this into my space. I put the intention out there that I want to overcome a health challenge in order to guide and shine the light to help other people through. And why now is because I put the intention out there a year ago that I want to shift my line of work from corporate into wellness. And hey presto, the world and the universe has conspired to put something in my door and help me overcome it, so that I can be here doing videos like this to share what I know from who shared it with me and my experiences to anyone that's wanting to listen to it. So week 1 with tinnitus, I've made some progress. I've had some challenges. I'm still on a journey. I'll still be taking Liam's course to understand a bit more around what are the implementations and changes I can make. My intentions for week 2 are as follows. Continue the changes that I've made in week 1. So keep them consistent. Figure out a system which makes me do them automatically rather than through using energy. So like have these in a place where I can see them. Have bottled water pre-bought and ready, so I'm not wasting time figuring out where do I buy it from. It's just there for me to drink. Have my keto food ready in the fridge, bought ready. Eggs, avocados, coconut oil, low sugar fruit, keto bread, flour, you name it. Have it in the cupboard so it's ready. So work out my system to make sure what I've put in week 1 remains in week 2, 3, 4, etc. Continue his course and not rush any more changes, because I'm conscious of putting quite a few changes, like blue light blockers. In fact, let me finish the video with these blue light blockers and a few other bits. I'm conscious I've made a lot of change quite quickly, even though I promised myself to take it slow. But I feel like this is within reason and reach for me to do, because I'm no longer sort of as charged about these changes, so I'm embracing them, right? And then the last thing I want to intend for next week is to put up another video, same time, same place, Friday, to talk you through what changes or not or challenges have come into my space and what reflections I've had. And that's it. It's as simple as that. That's it. Anyway, let's conclude this video by saying thank you for listening. It's been 35 minutes, so I know it's been a long time, but if tinnitus and well-being and health is a priority for you, then 35 minutes is not a long time, because I have been there listening to loads of people's videos talking about listening to all sorts of stuff. So yeah, man, this is me, raw and uncut form, just putting it out there. And so yes, look forward to speaking to you next week. Take care, everyone. Speak to you soon.